Hi, welcome to Homegrown. Today I'm going to talk to you about the Joro Spider, a spider that's been in the news a lot lately, and there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I'd like to help clear that up. The Joro Spider was introduced in the US into Georgia in 2013 and spread around the Atlanta area. In fall of 2021, there were actually some sightings in western North Carolina of this spider, but since then we haven't seen it. As far as whether it'll be found in North Carolina in the long term, I suspect it will be. Joro spiders are going to be found kind of in all different types of habitats, but I think primarily they're going to be found around wooded areas or areas where they can build their large webs. The Joro spider doesn't pose any direct risks to people. It is a large spider and can be scary looking, but it is functionally harmless. The venom of the Joro spider is no worse than a bee sting. And so it's very unlikely that anything serious is going to happen with these spiders as far as medical conditions or anything like that. Joro spiders, like many of the large orb weavers, have one generation per year, or at least that's what we suspect for this spider in the US. That means that for most of the year, they're young spiders. They overwinter as eggs and hatch in the spring. You won't see them at first because they'll be small like other spiders. But as the year goes on, the females especially will grow to larger sizes. And by the time the summer, late summer, early fall come about, we're going to see the larger ones, which are the ones that are most, I guess, scary for people. Whether the Joro spiders will become invasive or detrimental to the environment, we're not exactly sure, but early research has shown that they really don't have much impact on the environment. We suspect that even though the populations may be high at first, they may crash a bit and become kind of a regular part of our ecosystem. So what do you do if you come in contact with one of these spiders? Well, you could very much just leave it alone and let it be. Like I said, they'll die out in the winter and you won't see them most of the rest of the year. So killing them is not necessary. If you feel like you need to do that to get rid of them, that's fine. But otherwise, they're going to act much like many of the large orb weavers we already have in the state. Also, there are some stories about them flying down or coming from the skies. And that is really in relation to the ballooning behavior that the young do. And the young spiders are very tiny, and so you'll never see them falling from the sky. I will admit that if there were very large spiders falling from the sky, I would also be afraid. And so don't worry about it. I'm not worried about it. This is just a little bit of misinformation, or at least inaccurate information based on some of the characteristics of the spider. Look out for news items and more information from NC State about this spider, and keep on the lookout for these spiders later in the year.